Welcome to the first episode of a possible series. I don't know. This is like the pilot episode. So let me explain. Every time I put out a review, people are like, hey, Zeos, but what about this headphone that you reviewed 9 months ago and it was great, but does it still compare? Can you go back and re-review your Schiit 9500s or the HD600s or the 660? So instead of going back and picking and choosing individual things to go back and re-review, I thought what I'd do is this. Tell you to support me on Patreon and Subscribe Star at the beginning of the video, because that keeps this channel running and makes some free content. So cute wolf girl, cat girl, wallpaper, I don't know. But here's what I'm going to do. This is my channel in reverse date order. How many videos are on your channel, Zeos? 1,436. Now, a bunch of those are sound demos, so I wouldn't have to do 2 of those. But I've got a lot of videos going all the way back to 6 years ago. And I'm going to sit here at my desk. I'm going to put a timer on, an actual timer, which is greasy from being in my kitchen, for 20 minutes. And I'm going to see how many of my reviews I can at least talk about in 20 minutes. Right? Does that sound like a good idea? It's because, I mean, granted, the original ones, the old shit that I'm about to go through, not even sold anymore. But when I start getting up to it, or if I decide to do it, branch it off into headphones and speakers, which is a lot more work because it's a beautiful list here, and it's not going to be if it's not a beautiful list. But I mean, if you like this sort of thing, maybe we'll do it more often because it fills up a day. And if I'm going to try to do dailies, I have plenty of stuff to actually review. Well, that looks pretty sad. But I have plenty of stuff to review. It's just I need more time with it. So this is a great way to fill a day out. So here we go. On the count of 3, everyone count down with me. I wonder if I should live stream this. They do that live broadcast thing where you premiere a video and you can have the chat. Is that happening right now? Hi, everybody. Anyway, maybe I'll do that. But anyway, here we go now. FiiO E10. E10, not E10K. FiiO E10. First review on my channel. 13,000 views, not bad. I'm gonna reach up here and grab something because it pertains, and it's gonna be very rare that I get to do that. The FiiO E10 was my first DAC amp. It was a little tiny thing. It was like 80 bucks. It was back when Zeos was a fucking virgin. He opened his eyes to like, ooh, look, a piece of equipment that can make sound. And the E10 got replaced by the E10K, probably a year or 2 later. I'm sure we'll get to it. And that was very good. I don't remember what they actually changed. It wasn't much. But the E10 was a great unit because it had a line out, and it had a bass boost and a high-low gain. It was small, and it was FiiO, and it was well-built. And then we fast forward to this, which is basically the newest revision, which is the K3. And it's everything that wanted to be, but modern. So you got optical out, you got coaxial out, which was a bit weird. You got a USB-C, USB in, you got a line out 3.5, you got USB 1 or 2 options, you got a balanced output connector now, bass boost, gain. So from the very first video on my channel, the E10, to the E10K, to the FiiO, I dropped that on purpose, K3, it's still a relevant piece of equipment. This is still a relevant piece of equipment. The only thing I would say is, why are you buying this when you can spend a little bit more money and buy the IFI Zen DAC, which is a full-size, full-fledged metal button. The Maritech AAA flashlight. This is back when Z Reviews was still like, what the fuck am I gonna review? I still, to this moment, have all of those flashlights. They one single AAA battery, and it runs for like ever. And I like it because in an emergency, you just take 5 AAA batteries and shove them in the bottom of your bag. You'll never know they're there, and you have like days of light. And they're nice and bright. I can go get them. We're not going to start with that. Flashlights are not exactly my first thing. Monoprice IEMs plus Comply T400 tips. Wow, I was really advanced for the 3rd video. I forget what even the IEMs were. There's a link. Is it going to take me somewhere? Wow, they're still here. $10.19. Oh, how the fucking mighty have gotten way more expensive. I probably wouldn't recommend those. They were all right. They weren't bad. These monoprice enhanced bass hi-fi noise isolating, and it was even then I was swapping out ear tips. I was doing Comply now. I obviously do Taconi tips. So I'm gonna try to link to everything I say in the next 17 minutes. We'll see how this goes. Oh, Noctua NF12 fans, computer fans. Like I literally reviewed computer fans. How did I do that? How did I do that? You know what? if you go to my channel, click the name, click sort all my videos by reverse date, you can follow along with me. I have no idea how I did review of Noctua fans. That's interesting. Look at that. Behringer A500. I just did the A800, brought that thing out 6 years ago, 10 minutes long. How do I even do a 10-minute review? I gotta limit myself to 20 or I'll talk for 16 fucking hours. How have we gone through 4 minutes already? Behringer A500 is still a relevant thing. It is still a relevant thing. You may not be able to purchase it. It's not on Amazon anymore. It's probably gonna stick around in like other shops, Sweetwater, things like that for a little while. But the A800 is the new boy in town, and it's absolutely a worthwhile upgrade from the A500. Not saying A500 is bad. I'm just saying if you're going to upgrade, it's not bad. It actually got decent views. The Indeed TA2021. It was a 25 watt per channel little amplifier, and it was like one of the first mini amplifiers. Like before anything, before SMSL was even a thing, there was the Indeed TA, and I think it didn't have a power supply with it. Like you had to buy your own power supply. This was the birth of cheap desk hi-fi. So it was $55 for that, and then you had to go, and I used to write out things in the description, and how cute was that? So I'm going to say that's a no on the Indeed. Just tons more new stuff. Micca MB40x-C. Wow, when my channel started, hi-fi started in the whole world. I'm responsible. Micca MB40x-Cs, the non-X. I would still give these a reco for rear channels, because if you're putting them in front of you, you're listening to music, you want at least the Micca MB42X, which is a crossover version. If you have a little more money to spend, the RB42s are superior speakers, like overall in general. But the MB42s are still relevant 6 years later as just a cheap-ass speaker that you could throw in a rear or don't care about. You can shove them in a garage. They still make sound. The MB42Xs make better sound, and the RB42s just destroy them. This is a comparison between the MB42 and the MB42X. This is when they were both out. Then I reviewed the X, which I just talked about. My Emotiva XRM 6.1s. You see the bottom? See my headphone wall? See there's speakers lined up? The foundation of the headphone wall are my Emotiva XRM 6.1 speakers. And I bought those. Those are my first speakers that I purchased. It wasn't like my father bought them and I just reviewed them. I bought those like $250. Oh, how the mighty again have fallen. How do I even have a bank account? But anyway, those speakers were Emotiva's like original speaker. And I actually got them when they were going out of, but they were closing them out. They were done. And my brother got the towers, and he's still using the towers to this moment in his apartment. And these, after listening to them, what, 2 years ago before I built the wall, sharp as shit, like sharp. Like, holy God, how does a soft dome hurt me that bad? Now, Emotiva makes still decent speakers. I got to set up there. It's just that that old line was just, they did not have what it took. The Koss ProDJ100. Do I still have my original Koss Budget King M50 pads? Wow. You know Zeos is old school when he's taking a set of headphones and putting stock M50 pads on it to improve the comfort. What kind of shit is that? What kind of fucking shit is that? I had my original Mark I recording rig, which was a cardboard box that I shoved the Tascam recorder into. Actually worked really well. I would love to be able to do that again, but it just won't work. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend the Koss ProDJ100. If I remember them correctly, they were a lot of bass, a lot of muddy bass, but they were pretty well built. I'm a Koss fanboy, but Pro 4 AAs, if they don't teach you a lesson in like, don't trust anyone at any reason all the way, only trust anyone like 90%. I trust Koss with cheap things that are open back. Closed? Okay. Brainwavz HM5s. You can just go watch my Brainwavz. You can go watch the HM100. I did like a ton of Brainwavz things. I think the HM5s are probably not relevant anymore because we've got so many good closebacks. Under $100 closeback. That's what I'm concerned with there. And we have infinite. If they still sell the Civica 006s, you've got the CB1s, you've got fucking Tacstar Pro D2s. There's so many other ways you can go and get a better headphone than that. By the way, I'm looking at the lengths of these, 13 minutes. 13 minutes. I also did back-to-back that with the NVX XBT100, which was the Brainwavz HM100 with slightly weirder I think like mid-range treble. I couldn't hear it at the time, but later on I was able to use amps and things to determine it. Much softer. Again, doesn't matter. Moving on. Tascam DR40 versus Zoom H1. I don't think anybody's buying any of those. I'm currently using, I actually went Tascam DR40 to Tascam DR44 to now Zoom H1N, which is what I use for my recording rig, but I'm also using $1,500 Neumann microphones because, again, we've come a long way. The Lepi LP2020A amp. It doesn't matter when you're watching this video. It's 2037, and, you know, the clone of President Trump has now taken over the military, and he's back in power. It's sort of like a Futurama future. They're still selling a Lepi 2020 of some sort, and people are still buying it. And you know what? For the absolute, I need just any amp that works, I have $18. There it is. I don't have a cheaper amp to recommend. I don't have it. So, I mean, the Lepi is going to live on for fucking ever. It's still relevant. You could do better for $60, $70, but if you have 23, that's it. The Lava LSP12 subwoofer. That was a Christmas gift I got for my brother. He moved out. He moved out of the house before I did. And I bought him a subwoofer because I would love to have had a nice subwoofer. And it was for a company called Lava. And they're just not in business anymore. In fact, wait, here's the Lava homepage. Domains for sale. Lavasubs.com is for sale. So yeah, no, they went out of business. And it's a decent subwoofer, but my brother lives in an apartment building, much less free than this one, and he just can't. You can't push it that hard. But the thing was a pretty decent thing. But I mean, there you go. That's a great example of a company that no longer sells the thing because the company doesn't exist. 10 minutes left. The Audio-Technica ATH M50. 6 years ago, 74,000 views. Can I move on? Can I move on? They're still relevant that the M50Xs are out there. I'm waiting for the M50Ys to show up so I could give those a big shit in their face. But I'm, you know, wait. If you don't know my opinion on the ATH M50s, my channel was literally founded on the fucking hatred for them. And they're not bad at first, but they get under you, and then you just start getting depressed. And then I think I've cured a lot of people's depression by telling them not to buy those. M40Xs are on my wall, however. Okay, the Panasonic RPH 600s. I don't know what you are. Don't buy. I have written next to the thing. Oh God, I remember those. Oh God, I remember how much they hurt and how shitty they were built. Oh, yeah, no. These are just some memories that we're drudging up that I did not ever want to see again. The Sony XD200. What the hell is that? I'm sorry that I have to keep clicking on these. I don't even remember these. $200? $200 in what fucking world? They don't look worth $200. 800 ratings and 4 stars. I honestly don't remember it. It's still sale. It's still for sale. User submitted. That was one of the first user submitted headphones. And that's weird. I don't remember those. Oh, a Schiit Magni headphone amp. Did I own the Schiit Magni? Did someone send it in? I don't remember how I got a Schiit Magni headphone amplifier. But the Magni 1, that was the Magni 1, was beaten by the Magni 2, by the Magni 2 Uber, and they always sort of caught up. And only in the most recent revision of the 3 Plus and the Heresy do I think that the $100 Schiit amps are actually one of the better things out there. You can still go better for more expensive. You can get a JDS Labs Element, something like that. But for the $100, like, you get the Atom. I think those finally compete. Those were the only thing out there at the time. Keep that in mind. Schiit amps for $100 was it. There was no THX own. There was no FiiO wasn't really doing anything but the E10. That was a big deal to have a Schiit stack back in the day. The AudioSource Amp100 Ultimate Desk Setup ? You know, I don't even know if they still sell that thing, but it was a decent 50 watt per channel. They completely changed to a nope, unavailable. AudioSource was like a brand name, and it went away. And I don't know if it's even worth talking about. But we can talk about the Grado SR60Is. I reviewed them 6 years ago. I re-reviewed them with the 80s like last year. And I have a set on my fucking desk because when you put big pads on them and hook them up to a tube amp, that's audiophilia. I don't care if they cost 80 bucks. And the pads cost you $18, and then the tube amp costs you $600 from the Ukraine. That's audiophilia. Grados, I have a pair on my wall and a pair on my desk. And I'd rather listen to the pair on my desk than the pair on my wall because it's just, I don't know, there's something about those that just feel too fragile. But so yes, I guess the Grado SR60 guys are still, in fact, worthwhile because I still have them. Superlux HD681 Evos. That was borrowed from my brother's then girlfriend, now wife. She let me borrow that 6 years ago. I got 60,000 views on that. Maybe I should review the Superlux HD681s again. They needed pad swap, but no pads fit them because this is back in the day. I didn't have fucking hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of pads sitting in a drawer. So, I mean, no, there's better Superlux. I don't remember if there's even open or close back. Pass. Old Superlux is a meh. Get new Superlux or even new monoprice things. The Emotiva XDA-2. Hey, that's you. You're my DAC. See this one down here? This DAC specifically does one task, actually two tasks. This feeds my reference Italian QES, balanced, and the Tascam MH8 multiple headphone amplifier here. Still, it was a $400 unit that I got for like $250 when it was being phased out for the next gen. Has some quirks. I still use the remote for it. This is my main control this computer with the FiiO remote. Because, I mean, this is back when Emotiva gave a shit about remotes. This one's all dirty. I need to clean it. But look at this fucking thing. I put the foam on the side, the speaker surround foam. I love that on a metal thing. You get a nice squeeze. So, yeah, yes. I mean, if you find one used, it's still a damn fucking good DAC. It still is. I'd upgrade it. If they don't make them that size anymore. I don't know. Emotiva's done weird things. I don't know where they're going. But yeah, that's still on my desk. Fluance SX6s. I re-reviewed them 6 years ago. I did the original. A year and a half, 2 years ago, I did them again. They're still some of the best speakers I have had in their shop, and they're still available. I used to call it the shop. Is this the shop now? I don't think it is. 4 minutes left. Oh, Jesus. M Audio AV40 versus Micca MB40 I'm pretty sure the Miccas walked them. How to strip speaker wire and use it. I have to link to this video because I did that whole big video. That's 6 years ago at my grandparents' house wearing a jacket. 145,000 views. I really should make another I'm making speaker cable video, but with, you know, a Hero 8 and not a Hero 3. That was a 3 and this is an 8. 2.1 setup in theory. That actually is going to come into play because I have that new Emotiva sub that has RCA ins and outs and speaker wire ins. I probably should do another one. Speaking of 8-inch subwoofers, the Martin Logan Dynamo 300. To this moment, the best buy in subwoofers that had ever been. Because they were either $130 or $100. An 8-inch Martin Logan, which is a good brand. And the reason they were that cheap is because they had wonky power supplies. And some of them would fail and some of them wouldn't forever. And I have 2 of those on the bottom of my Doom stacks. If you're just new to this channel within the last 2 years. I used to have a set of speaker stands. I still do. They're in the other apartment. That I took 2 of those Martin Logan Dynamo 300 subwoofers. Down-firing 8-inch subwoofers. And I spent all this money on machined aluminum to make giant 40-inch high speaker stands out of them. And those are still amazing subs. And I don't think they sell them anymore. But the new Emotiva sub could be the replacement for that. I was even considering building another set. So Micca MB40x-C, or XC, I should say. It's the center channel version. I would get the RB one. Get it over with. Don't cheap out on the center channel. We've already discussed this. The Micca boombox. It's right there between those. I haven't taken it out in like years. I'm sure I should charge a battery, and it's 2 Micca MB40x speakers, an SMSL SA36. I think I was using the Indeed back in the day, but the SA36 and a battery pack. So that's probably the original revision. Boombox frame assembly tutorial. Again, we're talking about boombox. That was for the full Micca. That was for the full Dayton B652 I used to carry those around too. I used to be into building boomboxes. Maybe I'll do that again. but I think I'm more respectful now for people. AKG K240. With the AKG K240 came the Space Sloth, which is back there behind Mary. And those were super fucking hard to drive. 5 years ago now, by the way. And I don't think I had enough power to even drive them. It looks like I'm using... Yeah, that's definitely that, wherever the hell it is. That's the AudioEngine D1, which is the very next review. So, I mean, actually, I've got an O2 here as well. AKG has got a very strange reputation with me. I like a lot of AKG things, but I don't like a lot of AKG things. Some of them are magical. Some of it is a lot of, like, old people loving their old AKG stuff. And I'm going to try those new, where the fuck are they? The Buds, the Samsung Galaxy Buds, tuned by sound by AKG. I don't know what that means. AKG has really woohoo. K712 Pros are great, and a lot of other things are not. The AudioEngine D1 was a perfect starter DAC amp. It was a little pricey, but it was beautifully built. And only every like 5 weeks it would go, ah! And it would just literally just static would come out of it from the front, from the back, and you'd have to unplug it, plug it back in, and then it'd be fine again for 5 weeks. Still have that somewhere. It used to be up here. I don't think I kept it up there anymore. I put it in like a box. But I still have that thing. And it was a decent DAC with a volume control. I mean, I don't even know if anyone makes an equivalent to that. Here you go, the SMSL SA36 and SA50 amplifiers. Abso-fucking-lutely. If you could still find an SA50, I wouldn't get the 36 is a little bit too weak. The only reason you'd get a 36 is if you want to run 12 volt. My bathroom has got an SA36 fucking Velcro to the wall, and that's what I reach out of with my wet hand and adjust the volume for my Kovo S's. It's an SA36 because it's 12 volt. Caution, severe dynamic range. I loved, that was great. I got 17 seconds. The Odac. We could actually watch the entire review of the Odac because it's 17 seconds long. You can't hear it. I don't know what I'm saying. Actually, where's my closed captioning? Oh, is it not available? Anyway, I said this is better than anything. It's 17 seconds. It's better than sliced bread. That was my review. Because it had no options. It was plug in, and it was RCA out, and it was done. Anyway, that's that. We've caught up. We've gotten quite a few. Got some more things. If you want me to continue this series, 20 minutes. We did it together. I got through quite a few of them. But SMSL's amps and the Odac is... Unfortunately, there's way better DACs now, and they do more. It was a beautiful little, like, I should stop. It stopped. It was like a flag in the ground that says, "Hey, we could do shit for cheap." Northwest AV guy could have led the charge, but then he disappeared. Anyway, that's been that. That has been that, and we are here. And I'm going to quickly switch to Hi-Fi Guides forum. Don't forget to visit the Hi-Fi Guides forum. Don't forget to visit Hi-Fi Guides itself, which will help you buy things like this, headphone sources and such. I want a headphone source. I want a desktop, DAC, solid state, not balanced. And I want to spend, let's see, ODAC money, O2 money, $136. There's your 4 options. That's what the site's for. Anyway, that and the forums. And don't forget to check out my Patreon and Subscribestar to support this channel. And tell me if you like this. This was, I could do it on my big monitor if you think it'll be better. I have more waifus and things. I like this format because I want to get through it. I don't even remember what I've reviewed. And if I could do this instead of pulling out an individual headphone and going, here, so we do this again. It's not worth me wasting your time on that. Let's do as many as we can in 20 minutes and get it over with. Unless you want me to change the amount of time I'm doing it, you can say that in the comments too, but I'm pretty sure 20 minutes is a good number. Unless you say 6 minutes, in which case I'm gonna have to speed this shit up. Anyway, download her in the description. She's also available in the archive that I keep open for my patrons and Subscribestar people. They have all the wallpapers I've ever used. That's it. I'll go eat and watch a movie now. This was easy. I like easy.